Greetings everybody, we're at 624 Salma Way. Going to give a brief overview of some of the problems we're facing with scope of work. And this is just on the front slope. The rear slope, we have very similar issues when it comes to working repairs on the solar panels. So it's important to remember, for you adjusters out there who've never really done roofing and all you've ever done is look at policies and paperwork and sat at a desk your whole life, I don't fault you, but it's important to remember that roofs are systems, right? Shingles are part of a roofing system, so it's never just one shingle or one tab. A shingle is part of the entire roof. So when a shingle is all by its lonesome, and it's kind of hard to find on this roof, but you find a shingle like this here. This is 1, 2, 3. See the creases? That's all by itself. It's away from the ridge. There's no components around it. It's all by itself. That's if it is repairable. We don't think it is, but if it is repairable and materials are available and compatible, then that's fine. That's a 1-for-1. But when you're working near solar panels or pipe jacks or all the way in the distance, that furnace stack or that furnace vent, whatever your terminology wants to be, or ridge vent, it complicates things. This is when you get into scoping problems. So it helps to draw out your scope of work. So we have one here, one there, and one there. So when you do a repair, right, this whole shingle comes out. You have to lift and manipulate that row and this whole row. But oh look, we have one there, and oh look, we have one there. So that automatically increases our work area. So we've expanded and expanded, and the shingle there goes up and hits the ridge. Now on a ridge vent, remember, there is no overlap, or there sure as heck better not be. There's no overlap, so the shingle here goes up right to there, and that's not a problem. But the ridge vent does need to be lifted in order to access and manipulate that top row of shingles. So it's a challenge, because once you take those ridge vent caps off, you can't put them back on. The building code is in the IRC is very, very clear. Asphalt composite materials like this are aggregate materials, and the building code is clear. It doesn't matter if you're doing a whole roof, a full slope, or even a single shingle repair. The IRC chapter 908.5 makes it clear you cannot reinstall aggregate materials. That includes even a single cover tab like this. So once it comes up, it's got to be new going back in. We have a little simpler of a section here. One shingle right up against the ridge. And again, we've outlined the scope, and because it doesn't cross over, we've drawn a line right at the ridge. But again, these have to get lifted up. These shingles can just get kind of lifted and manipulated, but these, in order to get the nails from here, these have to actually be removed. So that's a real scoping problem, same as over there. Over here, we actually have damage, right? And so this has to be removed, but in order to remove it, because it laps this way, this is the shape, and it's a crude shape, I'm not an artist, but the crude shape is here, so it comes here to there. So these have to be removed in order to pull that out and replace it. That means those two have to be replaced as well. So we're looking at 3, not just 1. Now how do you pull those up? These now you can fold and fold. Hopefully you can do it without creasing. I'm not convinced that we can, but that's the theory anyway. And then again, we come over to here as well. Again, we have 1 and 2 shingles and the work scope there. So, and this is just 1, 2, 3, 3.5 if you count that ridge vent. 3 to 4 easy to spot sections where the scope can really dramatically change the repair, whether it's even economically feasible for a roof. Like here you have a shingle, oops, funny, shingle going into solar panels. There's another shingle there going into the solar panels. So you'd have to lift the solar panel up in order to even get access to that whole shingle to pull it out. You can't just do a single tab. That's not a proper repair. So just a little word, when we're talking about full repairs, proper repairs, that's, you know, we want to make sure we're getting this roof back to pre-loss, right? Everybody, that's what everybody, the goal is. We want to make sure that we're doing it properly, not just slapping some nonsense, you know, throwing spaghetti and hope it sticks. That's not doing right by anybody. Might save a couple bucks in the long run, but that's cheating. That's unethical, and in some cases it's even illegal. So don't break any laws, don't cut corners, don't cheat and lie. It's just a wrong thing to do. It hurts your soul. So with that said, any questions, leave a comment, call, text, email. Otherwise, I'll see you around the horn.